Thank you, Jessica. That was absolutely amazing. Thank you, Diane, for bringing her to us. A really powerful song that I heard Celine Dion do that in Las Vegas. I was very blessed to have front row seats given. And thank you. You just brought back all of those memories. It's always a wonderful song for me. I want to start with a poem that I found um, written by Amy Young. And this is what she says. This is about Mother's Day. To those who gave birth this year to their first child, we celebrate with you. To those who lost a child this year, we mourn with you. To those who are in trenches with little ones every day and wear the badge of food stains, we appreciate you. To those who experience loss through miscarriage, failed adoptions, or running away, we mourn with you. To those who walk the path of infertility, fraught with pokes, prods, tears, and disappointment, we walk with you. Forgive us when we say foolish things. We don't mean to make this harder than it is. To those who are foster moms, mentor moms, and spiritual moms, male or female, we need you. To those who have warm and close relationships with your children, we celebrate you. To those who have disappointment, heartache, and distance from your children, we sit with you. To those who lost their mothers this year, we grieve with you. To those who experienced abuse at the hands of your own mother, we acknowledge your experience. To those who lived through driving tests, medical tests, and the overall testing of motherhood, we are better for having you in our midst. We mourn for those who are single and long to be married and mothering your own children. We mourn that life has not turned out the way you longed for it to be. To those who step parent, we walk with you on these complex paths. To those who envision lavishing love on grandchildren, yet that dream is not to be, we grieve with you. To those who have emptier nests in the upcoming year, we grieve you and we rejoice with you. To those who place children up for adoption, we commend you for your selflessness and remember how you hold that child in your heart. To those who are pregnant with new life, both expected and surprising, we anticipate with you. This Mother's Day, we walk with you. Mothering is not for the faint of heart, and we have real warriors in our midst. We remember you. I'm going to now, the ministers have a listserv where we share ideas with each other. And this video came from the listserv. I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. So Mary, whenever you're ready, and turn the sound up.
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. Open your eyes, look up to the skies and see. I'm just a mom, I need no sympathy, because I do it all on the go. Poopy pants, snotty nose, kitchen kids and laundry. Everything is dirty, no sleep, no sleep. Mama, I puked in the van.
Great. Mama, there's gunsack in my hair.
I just pushed Lucy down the stairs.
She's bleeding.
Mama, where did I come from?
Better ask your daddy that when he gets home.
Mama, I smell a little bit of poopy in the van.
Sarah, move, get your butts in the Durango.
Daddy will be home late, better fix a hot plate now. Ravioli, ravioli, if you come.
I'm just a poor boy, can I have some money, please?
What do I look like? Money doesn't grow on trees. Maybe if you never pick up your things.
Party at Stevie's house, will you let me go?
Joshua, no, we will not let you go. Let me go. Joshua, we will not let you go. Let me go. Joshua, we will not let you go. Let me go. We'll not let you go. Let me go. We'll not let you go. Let me go. No, 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 no.
Mamma mia, mamma mia.
Mamma mia, let me go.
If you ask me one more time, I'll scream, I'll scream, I'll scream. So you think I don't care if you say that I'm fine? So you think I don't need any sleep tonight? Oh, baby, please just go to sleep, baby. Just gotta get out, just gotta get right out of here.
In the end, it's worth it. I wouldn't change a thing. In the end, it's worth it. In the end, it's worth it to me. Gotta wash the kids' clothes.
I wondered if any of you would know Queen, and obviously you did. So I just thought it was a cute little thing. Ernest, in today's Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes is quoted, and this is what he says. He says, "For in a certain sense, we are all mothers giving birth to new thought, new ideas, and new events. And why should we doubt that the same creative process which prepares the mother to give birth to her baby will not also prepare us physically and mentally to give birth to a new experience?" So this whole month, we're looking at Marianne Williamson's book, A Return to Love. And Marianne says, all relationships succeed when we let go of an idea that there's another and start seeing the face of God everywhere, in everyone. She reminds us that the people that we are in relationship with, whether it's a friend, a daughter, a son, a mother, a father, that those people are our teachers. We picked them. We picked them all. We made ready for the exact right people so that we could grow and learn and be greater than we'd ever thought we could be. Every single person in your life and the people that you love and you know, I'm so grateful for having the mother I have. I'm so grateful for having the children I have. Yes, they're good teachers, but the really good teachers are the ones that you're not so grateful for. The ones that you go, oh, why can't he, she ever see it my way, ever do it my way, ever be there for me, whatever is the story. And I particularly like the idea that she says in both men and women, we have the divine feminine and the divine masculine. The divine feminine, and don't get mad, ladies, because I know you are doers. We just watched all that doing. The divine feminine is the receptive spiritual side of you. It's the aspect of you that says yes to life, that incubates an idea and then gives birth to it. The aggressive side, or the side that makes the decisions, is the masculine side. Both men and women have both these sides. And today we're celebrating that divine feminine. Today we're taking our hats off. We're saying thank you to that divine feminine, um, whether she or he was the kind of teacher we wanted or not. Because one thing is for certain, we didn't get here without them. Someone gave birth to us. Someone gave birth to us, and that person, so Leila Clark, my mother, I'm giving tribute to you and those of you who read my blog. So I'll just put thank you, Catherine, for saying so. We have a blog, and every week, some people write in the blog. I usually write every single week, and I just wrote a blog this last week about my mom and paying tribute to the great things I learned from Leila Clark. I said in my blog, and it's true, that there are also some things I learned that I wish I hadn't learned. It's taken me a long time to change my mind about some of the negative beliefs. But since this is Mother's Day, to honor the mother, I'm not going to dwell on that. I'm going to say, yes, that's so. But what if I just look at the positive gifts I got from my mother? What if we all did that today? The things that we're so grateful for. My mom is a very creative person. Even now, when she's in the hospital, she is still that creative being. And she always deferred to saying, well, my dad's the one that has creativity and that's brilliant. And yet she sewed all of these amazing costumes, which she designed in her mind. And every Halloween, then when we were too big for Halloween, she liked to still dress up, but she did something called curling, which you all may not know what it is, but it's a sport, and it's very popular in Canada. And they have crazy weeks called Bonspiel weeks, in which they have sort of a big party for the whole week. And my mom would always the team is called a rink. She'd dress her rink in the same costumes. They always won prizes. They were brilliant. She did space people. She did Raggedy Ann dolls. She did Big Birds. You couldn't even see who the people were because the costume was so great. She put my sister and I in, she made a pumpkin for me to be in when I was maybe 3 or 4 years old. And so I was one of the nursery rhymes that's in the pumpkin. Anyway, yeah, Peter, pumpkin eater. And so I was in the pumpkin. There was my sister was doing the other part of that story. It was brilliant always. And yet she was very humble because she didn't say, yes, I am creative. We don't actually think that it needs to be so. What I learned from my mother is to know you can always do it. And I know that not everybody got that message, but I'm very grateful that whatever desire was in my heart. Now, from her point of view, it meant hard work, which it does. But now we come to a greater understanding of God's presence, and we understand, yes, we have the responsibility for the vision and for doing the next thing every day, but it doesn't need to be hard work. We don't need to make it happen. When we surrender all the stuff that isn't working and learn to keep giving it to God to look after, then that spirit within us, what she calls the Holy Spirit, and I'm okay with that, but I just call it spirit, the spirit within us, and then direct us to the next great idea for us, the next great idea, the next thing that we can do. She talks about, Marianne talks about relationships, friendships, and especially male-female relationships, and um, the ups and downs in them. And one of the things she talks about that I think is pretty important, she says, everybody seems to be searching for a special relationship, a special relationship. This is the relationship in which you can't breathe without the other person. Actually, it's a really codependent relationship. Stop searching for that one. That is not a good thing. Even though you might think it's a good thing, it's not a good thing. When that special relationship becomes a holy relationship and you get to be yourself with respect and love, you get to not manipulate, pretend, control, and all of the other things that some of us did at least long ago and far away, hopefully. But that relationship, the holy relationship, and she was talking about marriage relationships, and I know many of you have experienced those holy relationships or are experiencing them right now, and how beautiful that is. And it might have started off as that special relationship, but as you grew in love and grew to trust that love, it grew into a holy relationship where you do not expect each other to be perfect and yet see the spiritual perfection in each other at all times. Now, I actually think that we can have friendships that way. It doesn't have to be reserved for just our marriage relationships, but with every close friend, with everyone you choose to let truly into your heart, to know and trust that you can be fully yourself without judgment, without blame, without criticism. So that's the other thing she says is, number one, we need to, in order to have these holy relationships, we need to surrender everything that is unlike them. We need to stop making ourselves wrong for being. Remember, Louise Hay said, I approve of myself 300 times a day. It's the assignment, 300 times every day. I approve of myself, I approve of myself, I approve of myself. Why? Because the other critical voice is so apt to tell you how you did it wrong. You know, I know this may have started with our mothers and fathers, but we took responsibility for it long ago. And I remember as a tiny toddler, I was standing at my aunt's piano and I was correcting myself. I was correcting myself. No, no, not that way. Don't do that. Not that isn't. What? What? I was correcting myself. I was criticizing myself. No one else was there. That's how quickly we learn to do that destructive thinking. So when you learn that every relationship has the potential of being the holy relationship, every single one, instead of seeing flaws, mistakes, and things that are wrong, you rise up to see this beautiful being that's right in front of you. There's some really amazing stories about beautiful beings like that. And I was looking last night for stories about moms who have risen up in forgiveness, because that's the second thing after surrender. You need to forgive. Who? Everybody. Everybody. Starting with yourself, but everybody else, you need to forgive. You cannot hold anything against anyone. So the story I'd like to share with you is a story of a woman named Amy Beale. And Amy Beale went to South Africa to work. It was at the time of apartheid was just finishing, I believe. Anyway, she went to work for that, and she was just there, and she was pulled out of her car, and she was stabbed to death. Young woman just out of college. And she was stabbed to death because she was white. And she was there to repair that damage. Her parents came from the United States to South Africa 2 years after her death. The 4 boys were all sentenced to 18 years in prison, and they came to console their parents. Listen to me. They came not for vengeance, for revenge. They came to console the parents of the boys who were in prison. And then just shortly after that, Amy's dad died. But Amy's mother continued to go back to South Africa and work with these people. And one of the men who had been responsible for her daughter's death goes with her now. And together they talk about how we need to solve any issue of separation, of hatred for race or for any other reason. How we must learn to forgive and release, let go. I thought that was such an amazing story. There, if you want to check it out, there's a foundation in her name, the Amy Beale Foundation, and it still goes on today. That's one mother who took extraordinary measures in love with a great loss. I know that you people who are parents or parenting can, how do you do that? Well, I'm pretty sure that she of herself does nothing. It's the Father within that doeth the work. And I'm sure that's true for her mother, that of herself, she couldn't even begin to forgive the atrocity, the loss. But with God's help, all things are possible. So that's what I'm asking for us today. First of all, honor our mothers, no matter what they did or didn't do. They gave us the gift of life. And then honor all of the women in our lives, because each one has a gift for us. Each one has something to give us. And the men also have a gift for us. Are we willing to receive them all? Yeah, are we willing to receive them all? It reminds me of another famous mother, Mother Teresa, and she's credited with saying this. She's saying, people are often unreasonable, irrational, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish and ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some unfaithful friends and some genuine enemies. Succeed anyway. If you are honest and sincere, people may deceive you. Be honest and sincere anyway. What you spend years creating, others could destroy overnight. Create anyway. If you find security and happiness, some may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today will often be forgotten. Do good anyway. Give the best you have, and it will be enough. Give your best anyway. In the final analysis, it is between you and God. It was never between you and them anyway. So let's turn within in prayer. Diane's going to help us get ready by playing this beautiful piece. Open me to your love. I am opening to your love. I am opening
safe in your arms, safe in your heart, safe in your arms. I am opening to your love. I am opening to your love.
And so we open ourselves to the power and presence of God within that is love. That love is in each one of us, in me, through me, and as me, in and through and as everyone here and everyone listening to this word, wherever they are. And this is what I know. I know that this is a day to celebrate life, the life of God that each one of us experiences. I know this is a day of gratitude, to be grateful for that gift of life and to the women who gave it to us. I know that this is a day to move forward in all relationships as holy relationships, seeing past the disappointments, the anger, the fear, and moving into an awareness of the power of God's love, the power of peace, and the presence of good. I know that this is the day that God is making and that we rejoice and are glad in it. I know for each one who is here that if there is anything that needs to be healed, that the light of love heals it, releases it, frees the person from any pain or grief or disappointment or anger, any stuck places. The light of God's love heals any physical unwellness. It lifts it up, it moves it into God's grace and God's goodness. The light of love heals any finances, any financial stuckness, not enoughness, insufficiency. It's healed, and the flow of God's love moves through each and every one. And I know that the light of God's love blesses each one with that creative process that is natural, normal. It's what God does. It is what God is. And I give great thanks for this. I give great thanks for this well-being, for this day, and with my heart filled with gratitude for each and every person, for all the persons in my life, for my mom, and for her mom, and for her mom. I just give great, great thanks. With my heart filled with gratitude, I simply release this word to the action of law. I know that it's complete. And please help me anchor it by saying with me, and so it is.